Blue Bloods already ended, but it already has the perfect replacement with a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Coming into the new TV cycle, CBS went through a series of cancellations that included even some of its most beloved shows, resulting in So Help Me Todd, NCIS, Hawaii, and CSI, Vegas getting axed. Prior to those announcements, however, the network already decided to pull the plug on one of its longest-running shows fronted by the Reagan family. Blue Bloods cancellation remains controversial, with both fans and the people directly involved in the series coming out to oppose the move. Premiering in 2011, Blue Bloods was no regular cop show. Aside from its procedural aspect, which is already a tried and tested successful TV formula, it puts a family of public servants at the center of its narrative. Blue Bloods also boasts a stacked cast, spearheaded by Tom Selleck, Donnie Wahlberg, and Bridget Moynahan. These elements made it a massive success, and it continued to be well into its final episodes. Sadly, despite the stern opposition against CBS cancellation, Blue Bloods still wrapped up. The only consolation is that it already has the perfect replacement. Why Blue Bloods ended? Blue Bloods could have continued. Tom Selleck in Blue Bloods Season 14, Episode 18. Unlike the usual reason for cancelling a series, Blue Bloods' ending stemmed from CBS wanting to refresh its lineup while also cutting costs. Looking at the show's ratings over the years, it remained a solid part of the network, even though it lost some of its viewers. It's worth noting that Blue Bloods was TV's fourth highest-rated scripted series in 2024, which was the main source of frustrations for its cast when it came to CBS pulling the plug on the procedural. Despite the continued campaign to save it, the network stuck to its original decision to end the series. The long-running procedural was previously on the cusp of cancellation due to budgetary reasons. However, to prove their commitment to the show, the Blue Bloods cast took a significant pay cut to make sure that it moved forward. Unfortunately, their sacrifice didn't hold up CBS for very long. Blue Bloods ended with End of Tour, which was a fitting send-off to the Reagans, as it highlighted the show's many assets, including the love of family and dedication to principles. Matlock has the same core storytelling themes as Blue Bloods. The CBS shows emphasize the importance of family, justice, and principles. The good thing is that Blue Bloods already has the perfect replacement that checks all the core themes that people loved, Matlock. When the Kathy Bates-led show was first announced, it was faced with skepticism as it seemed like another attempt at just remaking an already established IP. However, Matlock's game-changing twist turned things around, and now, it is one of the most-watched TV network shows with a 100% score on Rotten Tomatoes. Beyond its premise, however, it shares many similarities with Blue Bloods. For starters, it features a cast from various generations, allowing it to offer perspectives of any age. Secondly, at the center of its narrative is a family who is trying to move on from a tragedy. Blue Bloods began with the death of Joe Reagan, while Madeline Kingston's revenge plan stems from the overdose of her daughter, Ellie. Thirdly, this core theme is perfectly intertwined with compelling weekly cases. Granted that it isn't the traditional law enforcement-centric narratives, but it still falls in the same sandbox. A big bonus is that both Matlock and Blue Bloods are set in New York. Can Matlock last as long as Blue Bloods? Matlock currently has an overarching narrative. Right now, Matlock is already renewed for its sophomore year, the first new show to receive a Season 2 order, proving how happy CBS is with it. Blue Bloods was on the air for 14 seasons, which is no easy feat, especially now that networks are quick to pull the plug on shows if they don't reach certain metrics. Another thing to consider about Matlock's longevity chances is that it has a main storyline, Madeline's revenge scheme against Jacobson Moore. The show cannot keep that narrative going for more than a few years, as it would risk being repetitive ultimately. The real indication that Matlock has a future beyond its premise would be in how it handles itself once Madeline's real intention is out. Perhaps the writers are planning to get that out of the way as early as the end of Season 1, and if that's the case, its next challenge is to come up with subsequent arcs that will keep viewers hooked. Blue Bloods was able to effectively do that,